Hey everybody, it's John DePietro. I am at 500 Salisbury Street at the home of Assumption University. And even though Assumption has over 100 years of history in the field of higher education, what we're going to talk about today is education for the future. And joining me to your left is Stephanie Hayes and Caitlin Stover. They are both from the brand new Froelich School of Nursing here at Assumption University. And Caitlin, why don't you give us a little bit of the history of the nursing school, because up until a few years ago, you didn't really associate Assumption with nursing.
That is correct. So we admitted our inaugural class in the fall of 2019. It was decided from the Board of Trustees, administration, and then the various disciplines on campus that in order to be innovative and relevant in the education of our future students, that we needed to really contribute to the workforce in healthcare. And the start was the introduction of the nursing program along with the PA program. Fast forward 4 years later, and those students are now senior level students. I guess actually that would be 3 years. And they are halfway through their senior fall semester and preparing to finish out their nursing education in the spring and sit for the board exam this summer. So we're excited about our innovative curriculum that is really in line with what the expectations are going to be for this first graduating class.
Okay, so there's going to be a big party coming up here.
Huge party.
Huge party coming up. And Stephanie, you are bringing a totally new dimension to the program now, because it's where the needs are, right? And one of the things that I've noticed that Assumption does is sees what the needs are in the workforce and then goes out and creates programs for it. And Stephanie, tell us about what you're going to be responsible for.
Yes, so I am working with Dean Stover to develop a post-bachelor's accelerated nursing track. So this is a different way to become an RN. It still falls within our same curriculum, same program, but it's really geared for people that have a bachelor's degree in something else and want to go back and become a nurse.
So the days of finding a major when you were a freshman in college and going all 4 years and then finding one job when you got out and working until you got the wristwatch or the rocking chair are over. And there are people that I've read some studies that people will change their career several times. And you're going to specifically have a need for the people that already have a bachelor's degree from whatever institution that now want to consider a nursing degree.
Yes, so
Is that right?
That's right, John. And it does not have to be a science-based degree. It can be a bachelor's degree in anything. We do have some prerequisite courses that any prospective student would need to take before they apply. But it's a really great way to begin your nursing career. You can become an RN in about 16 months with our curriculum, and our delivery is really innovative for this particular track as well. So it's really geared to be accessible for people. So it's a hybrid delivery model. So all of the coursework, the lectures, the didactic piece will be delivered online.
Didactic. Okay, now give me that in English.
So the lectures.
The lectures. Okay, didactic.
Yes.
Wow,
Instead
that's
of sitting in a lecture hall, you'll be able to access your faculty lecture at a day and time that's convenient for you.
Okay, important question here for those that are watching and have an initial interest. Does this mean you had to have just graduated from another institution just this past June, or could you be out for several years and have a?
Either way.
Okay.
Either way.
Talk about the facilities that you've got here, because when I took a quick tour, I saw some amazing, up-to-date, can I say state-of-the-art?
You can.
Is that the right word? Dean, do you want to talk about that? Because I'm sure you had something to do with ordering the right stuff.
Yes. So way back when the program was, in the infancy phase, the college at the time, now university, did make a commitment to the resources that were going to be needed for educating the nurse of the future. And that requires not only lecture halls and classrooms, but
Didactic, as we say in the field.
But to make those learning spaces highly interactive, whether it's the use of Apple TV because the students are in possession of iPads, so it's very much not the death by PowerPoint, listening to a 3-hour lecture. It's reading and preparing ahead of time so that you're spending 3 hours working through cases.
Okay, so you have to take your prerequisites, if you will, that are in the traditional classroom setting. But during those last 2 years, when you're in this building, it just looks like a hospital.
It does. So the curriculum is,
Which I guess it's supposed to, right?
that was the plan. The curriculum itself that is housed in the nursing discipline is going to be twofold. It's going to be that didactic classroom lecture, or what we call nursing theory, and then it's going to be the nursing clinical, which is the hands-on, the psychomotor. Some people call it experiential learning.
So the clinical part is when you're the touchy-feely part.
The bedside care,
bedside.
the care of the individual, the family, the population. Yes, that would be the clinical component. For our students, they're going to graduate being highly prepared to enter the nursing workforce.
Now, Stephanie, Caitlin just said, enter the workforce. You don't have to be a brain surgeon. Well, is that a proper analogy? The workforce right now is screaming for nurses. And you plan on presenting people that are compassionate, caring, as well as clinically competent. Hey, there's some marketing material right there. Competent, caring, compassionate, and clinically competent. That's really the name of the game, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you know, as Dean Stover was describing all the thought that went into the facilities here for the hands-on piece, all of the bedside care that the students will practice and learn here. I think that is really it's just wonderful that we can offer these facilities to our accelerated post-bachelor students, our traditional students. It's really going to do a great job in preparing them to enter into that workforce, because they're getting really high quality clinical education, simulation, and then we have a lot of really strong clinical placements as well within the community, where they're going to do hands-on learning with patients.
Those relationships are already been formed.
Absolutely.
Yep.
With the major names in healthcare and
Absolutely.
in Central Mass and beyond.
Correct.
For your program, Stephanie, the students will be using the exact same facilities as the quote-unquote full-timers,
Absolutely.
right? And your program is supposed to start when?
June of 2023.
Okay, so are there application deadlines? What's the process for beginning the process for those interested?
Sure. So all of our all the information about the program is housed on the website. We have a dedicated website for the post-bachelor's accelerated track. There you can find all the prerequisite information. You can find a list of the curriculum. There's also a direct link to our application there as well. Our application deadline for our first cohort is February 24th. So there's a few more months, but definitely now is the time to start looking at those prerequisites, seeing if there's anything that's outstanding, and all of that information is housed right there.
Okay. And if people are interested in this program, they can call you. Can they meet with you in person? Can they come up and see the facilities? Can they sit in on can they do all that stuff, sit in on a class?
Yes, absolutely. So one of our main goals is to get our name out there, obviously being a new program, and then with this new track. So we understand that nursing school is a big commitment, whether you're taking the traditional track or the accelerated track, and we truly do want our students to feel like this is home away from home. And so if a student feels like to be able to make that final decision, they need to come, they need to see a lab in progress, they need to meet with Stephanie one-on-one and maybe talk about concerns or what are my resources available for online learning. All of those questions and concerns are valid, and we want to address those, so don't hesitate. Please reach out.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
We want to thank you so much for taking time from your busy day to come here on the 016. Tell us a little bit about Assumption. And folks, if you have an interest, the information is right down there with the Assumption website and the specifics for the School, Froelich
Froelich School of Nursing.
School of Nursing.